Now let's talk about my case study in more detail, which is my heart failure project. So why this project? First of all, I'd like to say, if you already don't know, this project was able to win multiple science fairs. I was an ISEF finalist with this project. I was top 12 in JSHS, top 20 in BioGENeius, had 3+ academic papers in top academic journals coming out from just this project. And, I presented at international conferences, appeared in the news. So it was a very successful project. So now let's break it down to the exact detail of why this was successful. So first, the problem, which was heart failure kills millions but is diagnosed very late, right? The story is that a relative of mine, he suffered from heart failure, and then I got obsessed with this entire process. Like, what is heart failure? How does it work? Why does it occur in patients? And then my mission from there was, okay, let's just develop an early detection tool that uses deep learning and modern day technologies on echocardiograms to predict and early diagnose heart failure. Why did it work? Of course, we already talked about this in very much detail. Judges saw that this could save lives. I published this in JAMA Cardiology. There was very high targeted outcomes, and there was a lot of technical depth being used. Of course, there's AI models and state-of-the-art technologies being used in this, and this outperformed human accuracy. So this ties back into the whole concept of generating graphics and figures to actually, show that this is a very efficient solution. And lastly, of course, is the massive real-world impact. And there was clinical relevancy because this project was being used in hospitals. So what can you learn from this whole process? Don't reinvent the wheel. As long as you develop a solution that is better than the state of the art, you are already making something novel. You're already progressing towards futuristic technology that can, impact society in a positive way in a very large scale. And secondly is, of course, connecting tech. So you're using AI, ML, machine learning, deep learning, all these different cool technologies to actually connect tech with human lives. And thirdly is, of course, why does the judge care about it? The judge can only care about the project if you care about the project. And the way you do it is by making a story that ties back to your personal life. And, just to conclude, I'd like to just, orally talk about, give you some more detail on how this project actually started so you guys can get some more information of how I was going through this whole project. So let's tie back. So this ties back to 2020. This is when I actually started the project. I discovered a paper that uses echocardiograms to segment the left ventricular region. So basically what it does is, let's say you have an echocardiogram of the left ventricular region. It uses deep learning to create a segmentation around it. So all it does is it identifies the heart. And that is what the paper was. So I saw this paper in 2020. This was around April. And, I simply was very obsessed with this because I was already obsessed with the concept of heart failure. Just like you guys are, interested in different fields. So, so I was obsessed with the whole area of heart failure. I saw this really cool project. I reached out to them asking for the data set so that I can also work with heart failures with the segmentation. And then over the summer of 2020, I created an algorithm that can detect changes and abnormalities in these segmentations using technology and deep learning. And the whole project then came together where I have used a fully computational approach to now, from a given echocardiogram, how can we detect heart failure? And this was the most fascinating part of the whole thing, because now I've developed this whole project. And after August, when I finished the project, I was able to publish this paper, submit it to science fairs and all of that. So it's a very similar story to what you guys are also experiencing. You guys started off with an idea, you started off with a project, and by the end of the 8 weeks, you'll be able to have a fully done solution which you can publish, showcase in science fairs, and achieve media recognition.